What is up, guys, and welcome back to yet another Drone X video. This is a super exciting video because today we're talking about the GEPRC Phantom. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Banggood reached out to me and asked if I wanted to review a product from their website. And I had been looking a lot at this quad then because it has such interesting specs. So of course I asked if I could get one of these up for review. And they said yes. So yeah, full disclosure, I did get this product for free, but they did not pay me to say anything in particular. Everything you hear in this review are of course 100% my thoughts and opinions about this drone. Now, if you look in the description below, if you're interested in this quad after this video, there is a 12% off coupon code and also an affiliate link, and that would be massively helpful for this channel. So anyways, let's start about talking about the specs of this drone. Now, it sports a 16x16 stack. In the bottom there is a 12 amp Bilheli S ESC that supports up to 4 cell batteries. Now, they do recommend that you run this quad with 3 cell, but everything seems to be spec'd out actually to even 4 cell, which is pretty crazy for a teeny tiny toothpick style drone like this. On top of the ESC there is of course a flight controller, and this one rocks a F4 flight controller. Now, it's pretty nice that it is at F4, but I feel like since F3s are pretty much completely unsupported by Betaflight at this point, it would have been nice to have some more headroom and actually went for F7, but yeah, F4 is definitely pretty good. At the top part of the stack there is a VTX. This VTX supports 25 milliwatts, 100 milliwatts and 200 milliwatts. However, when I did try to use smart audio with this VTX and set it to 200 milliwatts, it always reset it back to the last setting, so I don't actually know it actually supports 200 milliwatts. That's a bit unclear at this moment. But what I can do say is that you're never really limited by the VTX anyway, at least if you're running a FlySky receiver, which I am. So I of course got the version without the receiver. You can get this one with the FrSky receiver. It's pretty annoying that they don't ship it with any other than FrSky, but you can pretty easily install your own receiver. So I went with the FLI 14 Plus receiver. That's a pretty new receiver from FlySky, and of course it has support for the turn evolution. What's nice about this receiver is that you can also get telemetry, which is nice if you want to see your RSSI. However, I had some trouble connecting this one up, and that is because, well, there isn't any documentation with the flight controller on this drone, and if you look at GEPRC's website, there isn't actually any documentation at all for this drone, at least not at the time of making this video. I finally managed to get hold of a guy working at GEPRC over at their Facebook group, and he told me that I need to solder this pin right here if I want to use iBus with FlySky. So if you have a FlySky receiver and you want to use iBus, then you need to solder this pin. You have to like resolder stuff, because this is not the pin that is actually connected from the beginning. From the beginning, it's connected wired up to the S-Bus pin and not the RX2 pin. Why it's also a really nice match with this receiver is because this receiver actually has 2 antennas, and you do get this really neat antenna holder here in the back, which is just pretty awesome. I think it's really nice. It's stiff, it definitely sits hard, but it also can take a lot of crashes. I've crashed this quad a lot and just sits there very nicely still. Also, it has a beeper, of course, here in the back. The beeper is nice touch, but it's attached pretty poorly, so you definitely want to add some tape or zip ties or something to tie it up. Here in the front there is a Cadex camera, and oh my god, this camera is just so good. I was so surprised over how amazing this camera performed when I started using this drone. And this is actually the best FV camera I have used on any quad, period. Which is pretty crazy considering that it is a micro quad like this. On top here I went with a 300 mAh 3-cell battery. The quad doesn't include any batteries, so you have to buy batteries yourself. But these 300 mAh 3 cells work perfectly with this drone. Now, I wouldn't really go for a 2-cell batteries on this one because it's so heavy. It weighs 81 grams when it's up in the air with this battery. And that is so much that you don't really want to fly 2S. You definitely want to have 3-cell to really get the power you want out of this quad. That being said though, using this 3-cell battery, you get plenty of power, it feels really nice, and because it has this really nice receiver and VTX and camera and everything, it does really come very close to flying a 5-inch quad, because well, you get that really nice FV feed. The frame is also really nice. I do like the fact that the arms are pretty thick, so it does feel very sturdy. Also, because it is like a 5-inch type of quad design, it has this top plate, which means it's super serviceable. You just remove these 3 screws up here on the top, you can open it up and change stuff. And because it has this 16x16 stack, which sports like these pin headers to connect all the cards together, it's just really nice because that means that there aren't really many wires at all, and it's really easy to just switch stuff out and upgrade stuff later down the road. And one really neat upgrade you could do to this one is of course install a RunCam split mini. I think that would work perfectly in this drone because it definitely can handle the extra weight, and it already runs a pretty large camera, so that wouldn't really add much weight. So basically just be one more card here up in the stack. The only downside with that is that I really like this camera. I think it's a lot nicer to look through than the RunCam split. So yeah, this camera is nice if you want performance, but you could definitely add a split if HD video is super important to you. One complaint, however, with this frame is that it's really annoying. They do this on pretty much all frames, and that is that the clearance to fit the 65mm props, which it is made for, is super small. So the props just precisely fit here and don't actually touch the standoffs. So if you do bend one of the arms on the frame or something like that, you will actually start to scuff against the standoff here, which is super annoying. Like, couldn't they made all the arms like 1mm longer? That would just been super nice. And that problem extends here to the back as well, because there's just not a whole lot of clearance here where the antennas are. So if you crash, this antenna usually gets a bit crooked like this, and then it goes into the props, and then you have to fix that pretty much every time. And that also pretty easily hurts this battery lead as well. So I just use a zip tie here to tie it up, but yeah, that definitely is a problem otherwise. So once you've installed the receiver, it's time to fly it, and of course it flies really amazing. Like, it's really smooth, even the stock settings fly really awesome, and because it has such a nice camera and long range, just is super nice to fly. Now the rates are a bit aggressive in the low end, and they definitely don't spin super fast in the high end either, so you might want to add a bit more curve to that, but that's of course up to you. And I will probably do like the next video or so, like 10 tips for this drone, and show you all the tips and tricks to get this drone performing in peak performance. So now on to the big question. How does it perform to one of these lighter weight toothpick drones with the Crazy Bee board? So this drone of course is a lot lighter. This is the drone that I built a couple of videos ago. Check out the card if you want to learn more about this drone. And I think this one weighs about 37 grams without batteries, maybe around 50 with batteries. And this one weighs 81 grams. So there is a pretty large difference between these two, and that is kind of surprising because they do run the same motor size and they have pretty similar setups. Now the performance is still pretty much the same on both of them because, well, while this one is heavier, it does run 3-cell, while this one only runs 2-cell. Also, this one is kind of limited by these Tiny Whoop 2.0 connectors, while this one has these really nice XT30 connectors. But the major difference is, of course, there's a nicer camera on this one, you get more range on the GEPRC, while the nice thing about this one is that it's smaller and it's just way more convenient with these small batteries. Like these 1S batteries are super easy to charge. You can use one of these Happy Model chargers. There charges 6 at a time. They're super cheap, like you can get 2 of them and charge 12 batteries at a time. While with these batteries, with the GEPRC, you really need a standard charger. Sure, you could use a parallel charging board, but that's still mighty inconvenient. And then you have to like balance them all before that, and those chargers are usually pretty bulky, and you probably want to have like a power outlet for that. So this is definitely a lot more convenient, but you do sacrifice the camera quality. You get a way less nice looking image, and of course less range with this one with the built-in receiver in the Crazy Bee board. So that's kind of what you have to think about when looking at these two guys. They do have very similar performance, but this guy definitely has a much nicer camera and longer range. So if that's important to you, then this guy is really nice. This is much more of a 5-inch substitute than this guy is. However, this guy is really nice if you just want something super convenient. You just want to fly a ton and you want to be able to take it with you. It's super tiny. It's even more tiny. It's even tinier than this one, and the batteries are definitely a lot tinier too. So that's kind of how you have to decide. For me, I will definitely use both. I think both have a place in my fleet, but if I have both of them available, I will fly this guy because I think the GEPRC is more fun to fly with the nicer camera. So I guess that was it. That was my review of this drone. And as I said in the beginning, if you want to get this drone, make sure to check out the coupon code in the description below and you get 12% off of this GEPRC drone. Also, make sure to use the affiliate link down below. It really helped this channel out a ton. It will really help me to make more videos like this since I can get more sponsorship and get more quads, because otherwise I can't really afford to just buy everything myself and to review. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for all the support and everything, and I'll see you in the next video, and stay tuned for a video with 10 tips to get the most out of your GEPRC Phantom. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.